So welcome back to another Wheel of Time video. This is, I think it's part 4 in this series where me, along with Pez, who is an expert in costume design, and Bree, who is a best-selling science fiction and fantasy romance author, where we break down and go really overanalyze the sneak peek from New York Comic Con that was released last weekend. In this video, we are going to be talking about the White Cloaks and the Darkfriends, although we barely talk about the White Cloaks. This is mostly about the Darkfriends. And spoilers in this video. Pretty sure, they do. They go all the way to the end of the book series. So if you finish the book series and you've watched season 1, I don't know why you'd be watching this otherwise, if you haven't watched at least season 1, then you're good to go. So let's jump into it.
Let's be nerdy, babe. Let's be nerdy, let's be nerdy. Let's be nerdy, babe. Let's be nerdy, babe. Let's be nerdy, let's be nerdy, babe.
When there's not much, it's just White Cloaks got pretty shields.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think there's much to say here, but yeah, their shields, that's about it, really. I don't do unless you have something to say, Pez, because I can't think of anything else here.
No.
I don't. Okay,
It's Ishii.
it's Ishii. There's not really. You can sort of see his costume.
Yeah, I am gonna say my co-writer came over just before we started filming this, and I was showing her and her son, who fell in love with Wheel of Time, these pictures, and the consensus was he this hot in season 1?
Yeah. He was an attractive man.
This is how the betrayer of hope convinces everybody to give up, I guess. He's bringing that something.
This
That's
gives
just like
me absolute...
He wants to talk to me about my place in the afterlife.
Do you have a moment to talk about Teleron, Riyadh?
Yes. Like, that's a shirt collar, I'm pretty sure. Like, that's just like a normal, like...
This is casual... This is business casual Ishii.
Yeah.
And it made me think of the scenes in the books where Ishii is summoning the various characters into that little tower with the fireplace and having the deep felt heart-to-heart conversations with them.
Yeah.
And that whole paternalistic vibe that he had with Rand there at the end of season 1. Like, this is him trying to present himself as a father figure to me.
I can see that too. Yeah, he's got like
Uncle Ishii.
Kind eyes. Uncle Ishii. Yes. This one already. I have no idea. I've seen a lot of people say Lanfear. Any thoughts?
Semiraj.
Semiraj? Okay.
So, here's my deal. Lanfear is a dramatic bitch who would enter this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Semiraj is probably covered in blood all the time, so that also tracks.
That also works, yeah.
And Megiddian is the most goth bitch known to man, so I could believe any of those.
It could be any of them. The one thing that I see that's a costume, well, there's 2 things, I guess, in a costume detail. More in the previous shot, for her.
Okay.
There's a ring and an armband, right?
There's an armband for sure. I'm not sure about the ring, but there's one character in particular who's been drawn with armbands among the Forsaken, and that we believe is Grendel, if I'm remembering correctly. But this is not enough boobs to be
so that arm, I hope it's not Grendel, because I would like
I think
rounder arm.
I feel like this character has locks. If you look at the previous image, it kind of looks...
Maybe,
it could also just be clumped hair because I was bathing in blood because I'm a goth bitch, but...
I did wonder, because there was a Forsaken statue, and when we lightened it, it definitely looked like braids.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard to tell, but it does look like distinct strands of whatever is hanging down. Like, it does look...
Yeah.
Yeah, you are right. It does kind of look like that.
So I could believe that those are somebody's braids, like, that are hanging down awkwardly because she just took a blood bath.
Yeah, a literal bloodbath.
A literal
to me,
bloodbath.
It read as though, like, I'm projecting here, right? I'm absolutely reaching, but to me it looked like Ishii going deeper into wherever he had been sealed away, where he fought Rand, and helping them out of the pit one by one, raising the Forsaken from their sleep.
See, I could see my only thing with that, I don't know why I have this. I look at this hand and it looks like Rand's hand to me.
It totally could be.
I don't know why, because it's literally just a hand. Have we seen a lot of Rand's
like
hand?
Ishii's hand to me.
It looks like a young man's hand. It looks like a young white guy's hand to me.
I thought you were talking about the bloody hand, and I'm like, I mean, honestly, guys, I don't think that's Rand.
No, that's more of a Matt move.
No, I'm talking this young white man's hand, not this hand.
And that was my original thought, honestly, was that this was Lanfear and that Rand was rescuing her from the terrible situation. I just realized you can't see my heavy air quotes here, but
yeah.
I have arms, but they don't move unless I use a dance emote.
Yes, and I have arms, and only you get to see them.
It could be Selene. It could be Selene and being rescued. It could have been a real great bait and switch with him walking up, and then with Ishii walking up, and then someone else getting rescued. Also, could be a dream thing.
It could be a dream thing. And the cuff to me was the interesting thing with the costumes. I mean, there's not much to look at on her other than stage blood, but it's not Ishii's shirt cuff. And that is a well-tailored wool cuff. That's what it looks like. And I mean, there's a certain character that we associate with that, and that's basically Rand.
Yeah.
There's not nearly enough bling on that to be Matt.
No, and that I do see what you mean. There might be a ring here, right?
Yeah. I see it now.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, the gifts kind of help sometimes with that, but I don't know.
Or it could just be light,
a lot of shine off of the blood,
shiny blood,
shiny blood. Yeah.
Also, the fingers just seem like so misshapen there to me. It like sort of disturbs me. So I don't know.
Oh, this is the one you were talking about, right?
Yeah, I put this in here just in case we needed to refer to it. But I think that is Semraj.
Right.
And I actually went and got some of Seamus Gallagher's artwork earlier. And the Semraj and the Samuel and the Lanfear and the Grendel all look extremely like his artwork.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm still on that. Seamus Gallagher has disappeared from the internet.
Yeah. I was trying to hunt him down, like following some links to websites.
Yeah. His blog is from 2005. I've tried sending messages. That's why I don't use his art in my stuff. I think I've used it twice out of desperation because there was no other art. But everybody else's art that I use, I ask if I can use it first. And I can't ask him because he has vanished from the internet. And I don't know where he's gone.
There's so many interesting details in these little figurines too. I love how the one on the far left, it looks like the bulbous round body of a spider.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So hi Maggie.
Hi Maggie. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Magedian, Semraj, Samuel, we know that guy is Shamael. Lanfear, Asmodean's got a guitar.
Yeah.
Don't know about that guy, and then Grendel.
And my initial thought for that one was Demandred, because that is a very Egyptian inspired vibe to me, and there's some aspects of that with Shara.
Yeah, that makes all right, let's go on to this image, because I feel like this is the one that of the Darkfriends images that we could talk about for the longest. So obviously we have Ishii here, that's very clearly Ishii. The debate is if this is a Forsaken meeting or if it is the Darkfriends social from book 2.
I have compiled some pros and cons for each.
Right.
First, I'm going to say my immediate gut was this is a Forsaken meeting. Okay. And the reason my immediate gut was that it was a Forsaken meeting is because I can't imagine a Shamael sitting at a round we're all equals table with a bunch of random Darkfriends. That's not his vibe. So I didn't even think about it consciously. I was just that is a bunch of people he at least nominally considers his equals.
Right. Which is, I find fascinating, because if that is, I flip-flop too. If it is, there's 12 of them. And I think all of us, for some reason, well, not for some reason, for the reasons of those idols that we just looked at, and cracks in the whatever, we just sort of assumed that there would be 8 Forsaken. and there's 12 people at this table. So if it's a Forsaken meeting, then there's more Forsaken than we thought.
Yeah, so okay, so that was my first opinion. Like, yeah, Forsaken, and that was like my biggest. I don't like have a lot of other reasons. I thought it was Forsaken. It was just this looked like a bunch of people. This looked like a dark round table.
Yeah,
to me,
yeah.
like this was the imagery of a bunch of people who are equals,
Yeah.
except for maybe not. But you know, the mistrust between equals because they're hooded. And so then people were like, well, why would they be hooded if they were Forsaken? I mean, they're hooded, but they are all sitting face to face with each other. They can see each other's faces here. Yeah. Probably.
The other reason I would think it's Forsaken, like because I think I heard you say that, and I went, oh, okay, yeah. Because this cuff looks Age of Legends to me.
Yeah.
Yes, 100,000%. That we have not seen a thing like that outside of the Age of Legends.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here like that feels opera glovey and Age of Legendsy, and just not necessarily, you know, like the cuff especially. That is not.
Yeah.
Also, the one is really short. Yeah, the one at the back. That was my biggest thing. If you look at the one straight back, I zoomed in. It was like I found.
So there are some other interesting details. I mean, it's higher resolution than the actual sizzle reel that we got to see at first, but it's still not high enough resolution.
Yeah.
But there are some details in the costumes that make me think as well that this is Forsaken, and that was my immediate instinct. And I didn't even consider Darkfriends until somebody asked me on Twitter. Actually, but
why don't you give the rest of your Forsaken arguments, and then we'll do the Darkfriends social arguments.
Okay.
Yes.
So the sleeves on the person sitting on our right of the one we said was Samael, the short one.
This gentleman.
Those sleeves to me look very elaborate and slashed in a way that matches some of the Forsaken art that Seamus did, that we think inspired the statues.
Am I hallucinating a ruffle cuff at the wrist?
No.
Here?
Okay, because that's like, I really thought that looked like a ruffle. And like there is actually, Seamus has art of the Forsaken where they're wearing like these like ruffled necks and cuffs.
Yes, and specifically that kind of imagery ties into Tyr, the High Lords of Tyr. Okay. That is something that we associate with like the classical High Spanish Renaissance, right? And that's what we've heard is the nobility of Tyr. And so I immediately thought that was the one that was hanging out in Tyr.
Being like the fake High Lord,
yeah, below. Okay.
Yeah. And so then I started looking at some of the others. The one immediately to Ishi's right. Those gloves do not make me think opera gloves. Those gloves make me think wasting diseases, bits falling off.
Like the carapace dude.
Yes.
The ones who were like too close to the
Yeah. The one who later had
Agenor? Yeah. Agenor or Balthamo? I get them confused.
Zombie Forsaken. He's the
Zombie Forsaken. Yes. Yeah. Zombie Forsaken.
You're right. That does have very big don't cover up my falling off bits.
Yeah. And originally I thought that Lanfear was the one covered in blood, so I assumed that the red dress was Lanfear, but I now think it's Grendel.
Okay.
Potentially. Because showing up in a red dress is so her.
Very much so, yeah. Yeah.
But I also thought that the one in the white gloves initially was Grendel because it looked like they were the chestiest.
This way, oh. There's definite boobage happening there.
I was also very taken by the one next to tuxedo shirt cuff to his or her left. Very demure posture, hands folded, and it looks like there's a ring.
Oh, yes, I see.
Yeah, Messiana.
Yeah,
that's who I immediately thought, because that posture is very Aes Sedai sitter posture. The hands clasped. I mean, it screams Aes Sedai to me.
Right.
And teacher.
Yeah, which is Messiana.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, I don't know who everybody is specifically. I assumed that either tuxedo cuffs or gauntlet between white gloves and shorty was Demandred. But I don't think that the tuxedo cuffs would actually be Demandred. I think that would be, I'm not sure who, but I don't think it would be Demandred necessarily.
I can kind of see Asmodean being like,
yeah,
it's like the messy tuxedo shirt. I don't know, Rockstar.
The other one actually that I could accept with the tuxedo cuffs is Agenor, because he was supposed to be like
Yeah, biologist, scientist.
right, and like not all that strong in the power, and so he was trying to like dress himself up and seem more than he was would be a possibility. Also, Robin trying to dress like James Bond.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I can see that too.
Actually, the tuxedo cuffs and the gloves with Robin. Yeah, I can see it.
It fits. It fits his
Yeah.
personality, I feel like. Okay, and then we have dark friend theories.
Yeah, okay, if you go back to the thing and go zoom in on the Padden Fane dude.
Yeah, I will like.
Fane.
Yeah,
Oh.
The gray sleeves with the rings.
yeah.
I mean, when Matt Hatch posted it, I found it compelling that that's the same color coat he wore.
Yeah,
and it does have some of the same jewelry. I could see it.
And like he's got because Padden Fane has rings on almost all of his fingers, and if you put them, even one of them is this color. It's the same color on the same finger, and I will post it like when I edit the video together. I'll put it here now so everybody can see what I'm talking about.
The only thing that's missing is that is the same color coat that Padden Fane has, but Padden Fane has gold trim on the cuffs on his jacket. It's possible it just doesn't show up due to the low resolution, because this is really good. Like the rings and the hands, and that's really good for Padden Fane.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it could totally be Dark Friends, but I'm bewildered by the tuxedo cuff if so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that is so okay.
And then there's another one that he said he thought was Tuathan. Which one is it? If you look at the next picture in Discord.
The one we thought was Messiana, I think.
That's what I thought, but
I think that they think that there's some colored stuff behind her skirts, but I do think if they may have enhanced it in a way that I did not, that like brought out different colors.
Yeah, I
didn't necessarily get that. Other arguments for it being Dark Friends were that like, they're all hooded and he's not. And so that could be because they don't all want to know who each other is. Mm-hmm. Also, to counteract what I initially said with it's a round thing, he is the only one sitting at a throne.
Yes.
And there is a power in being the only one unmasked.
Yes.
The one who doesn't have to fear people knowing his face. So like I can see both sides.
I also this could be an Aes Sedai ring over gloves.
Yeah, I have to take it back now. I have to walk back. I have to go back over to the Wheel Takes Discord and apologize. Apparently they do have
it absolutely could be
glove rings.
Yeah. And
so,
part of me wondered if it was potentially Dark Friends. Are we supposed to believe that the blue arms on the person next to one of the fireplaces between black gloves and white cuff, is that meant to be read as blue Shanchen armor, or is that meant to be read as a blue Aes Sedai?
Right.
There's also, if you look, the short guy has blue reflections and the table has blue reflections.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure if that's just the lighting. And like the chairs down at the bottom have blue reflection, but that's very blue on those sleeves. So like I struggled.
Yeah.
I went back and forth a lot on if that
I honestly wondered if it might be metal, and that we're seeing the blue light reflected off of metal, because it's not quite the shape of the chair.
And this is like a very like it does look reflection-y level of blue.
Bracers or something could be doing that.
Were they prepared for us to analyze it this deeply?
They never are. They
should be by now.
Yes.
Okay, so flip it again. My argument for Saken. This is a room with a positively unhinged number of fireplaces.
I was going to say that, yes.
Melodramatic. And I mean, if there's one person who would build a room that was 0 walls, all fireplaces, it's this drama bitch.
Yes.
But really weird room, guys.
Really,
maybe this is Tel'aran'rhiod, because
that's
otherwise
what I was about to say. Yeah,
he built a castle that has a round room that is just fireplaces.
Yeah,
and weird nooks and fireplaces. Like, bro, what is happening in this room?
Like this, he doesn't have fire eyes. He just has like fireplaces everywhere.
Well, and honestly, I assumed once I started counting them and realized that there were more Forsaken than people at the table, I assumed that the reason that there's only this number at the table is because Lanfear is currently road tripping with Rand.
Yeah,
That
Lanfear
yeah.
could be stalking Rand, or maybe he's just waking up the non-assholes. Maybe he left Raven because everybody hates. Maybe nobody invited Asmodean because they don't want him to play March of Death.
Yes, everybody
Like, I
forgot
don't know.
Bilal. They're just like, yeah, Bilal, leave him.
I don't feel like comfortable making the cuff.
Yeah,
is one of the reasons that I really struggle. But I mean, maybe somebody met Ishii and is just a fanboy now. Like, I don't know.
That's true. That is
You
very
know,
true.
there could be there could be like imitation going on.
Right.
She could be setting a new Age of Legends fashion trend here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much of the world that we still haven't seen that it could absolutely go either way.
I think there are great arguments for both, and we don't know. But the fireplaces, somebody has got to answer this question for me. I am haunted by the number of fireplaces. Like, are they just keep going? Are there like 4 more?
They go all the way around. Yeah.
He has to have one for each
octagon
Taviran.
of fireplaces.
Yeah. So why so many fireplaces? And okay, we spent most of this particular video, this conversation, discussing whether or not that round table was a Darkfriends or Forsaken. What do you think? I see convincing arguments for both, and I really don't know. That cuff, when I saw it, that shirt cuff really did make me think like it had to be Forsaken. But are they hooded? I don't know. Huge debate. Also, the bloody girl and the hand. Am I crazy? It really just looks like Rand's hand. I don't know why. I don't even know if we spent a lot of time looking at Rand's hands in season 1, but it just looks like Rand's hand. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like my content and you want to support me, I do have a Patreon. It is linked in the description below. As always, I am so grateful to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. It means so much to me. Thank you. And with that, I am going to end this here. So please like, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.
No, I'm now committed to Nickelback in the Third Age. In the Age of Legends.
Sorry.
Oh, Lord.